What is happening, everyone? Welcome to FFTV. 5 o'clock today, a little bit later because we had parents' evening. So I hope everyone is good and happy Monday. That's the main thing. Happy Monday to each and every one of you. Already seen Football Holic in the chat. Already seen Buenos Aires Guna in the chat. Football Holic is saying, going for rejects again. This football club is shameless. And Buenos Aires is saying, big up Fran, absolutely. A no from him. I imagine in the Martial and Oxlade Chamberlain. Interesting times. Chelsea, Australia's in the building. Big up, Fran, all the way from Oz. I just found out today that Sydney is still in a 3-month lockdown. Is that true? I don't know if you're in Sydney, but is that still true that they're now just on another lockdown? It keeps the virus intact, nothing like the UK. So, interesting times. Over the other side of the world. And it's 3 a.m. in the morning. Big shout out to you for even still being up for this time. 3 a.m. in the morning. I've got a little bit of a cold sneeze coming on. So forgive me, excuse me if I do. Obviously sneeze, I will go away. Joey saying, let's sell the flop Pepe to Newcastle. Right then, people. What I'm going to do, we're going to go over the Newcastle one. We're then going to go into, obviously, Martial and Oxlade Chamberlain, etc., things like that. Now, the other day, I did for the first time send a link out to try and get some people on the stream. When people were clicking on it, it was saying on their end, on your end, no mic, whatever, block the browser. I believe you have to use Chrome. Now, if I use Brave, for example, I can't go on certain streams. So I believe that you have to set your default browser to Chrome to click on the link to get access to come on. I do want a couple of people to come on. It's the first time we'll ever have people on the show, and we'll speak about Newcastle at first. So let's just get you on, and then I'll speak a little bit, and then we'll get some more people on later on. So if you do want to come on, let me know if the link's working. If not, change your browser to Chrome. I've been told that's why people cannot get on the old streams. So who's in the chat? Everyone's popped in today. I don't know if this time is a little bit better for you. I know some people are getting in from work. Let me know. Let's sell Pepe the flop to Newcastle. Jab. Grabber saying take Martial offers. Chelsea saying we have been locked up for 3 months. Yeah, in Aussie, I found out that today. Tony C saying, hi, Fran, everyone. I would not resign Ox injury prone. I would not resign, Ox injury prone and left us when we offered him a new contract. Time for us to look forward. I fully agree. Very, very injury prone. Craigie saying, big up Fran, as always in the chat. BK, big up yourself. And I've got one of those sneezes coming, which I said they might come. BK, big up yourself. And Chris, as always, great supporter saying, seems like martial law in Australia. No idea why there's fairly brutal police force over there. I've seen a little bit of that, and it thinks, well, Australia seems to be a mainly peaceful place. You don't really ever hear any bad stories, especially over here, considering we're connected, etc. But yeah, I think they've gone into a lockdown again. I think they're just trying to contain it because apparently the reason New Zealand did so well is they just stopped anyone coming in and out. But deep down, you can't go nowhere else except New Zealand. You can't. It's not a hub, is it? Doesn't really go anywhere else. So interesting times. Big up that Daigi. That guy, D, and everyone else. Like I said, we'll have a little bit about Newcastle. I'll put the link in there. You can speak about Newcastle. If it doesn't work, it's something to do with your Chrome browser. Make sure Chrome is your default to go on the stream. That's what I've been told, people. So don't shoot the messenger. That's what I've been told, okay? That is what I've been told. So I'm going to put, in fact, you know what I'm going to do now? I'm going to put the link up there now, right? And just let me know. Let me know. Right, links up here now. Let's put it in the chat. We'll put it in the chat. We'll put it in the chat, everyone. Right, we'll put it in the chat. There's the link. So it should work. BTC is doing well. Yeah. I'm in a little trade at the moment. Very, very small. Very, very small. I've gone back to basics just to get trading again. Very, very small. Very small. Right then, people. So let's touch on. First thing is, let's get back on my screen. The first thing is, for me, Newcastle. Let's just talk about Newcastle. Right. Steve Bruce, basically, he's going to get the sack. Let's be honest. He's going to get the sack. It does not take a scientist to work this one out. Now, I know that he's got a 1,000th game, apparently. Is that against Spurs in his managerial career? They're going to give him that. There is talk today. Amanda apparently was at the ground today, etc. She's left, and he's still in charge as of this video. He's going to get the sack. The amount of people that they're trying to bring in, for me, I can't see it. People are talking about maybe they should go for Potter, Gerrard, because it's not going to be one of those ready-made kind of projects like at Chelsea. Chelsea were already, in European football when Abramovich came in. And when the Sheikhs came in, Man City were already on their journey from the previous owners, So this one with Newcastle is straight from the barrel, bottom to try and get where they need to get to. So they need to make sure everything is perfect. Where do they go from here? Now, the first one is obviously Ralph Ragnick, I think his name is. Very, very high reputation. He'll come in as sporting director, football director, whatever it may be. That, for me, is the most important signing for them at this moment in time. The most important signing for them. They have to try and get that one done, because when Man City were doing the thing, they brought, what's his name in from Barcelona, way before they brought Pep in, they were preparing. Sporting director, etc. They're the things that they need to do. So from Newcastle's point of view, they need to get, him in, because he completely changes the type of manager and the type of player that they are going to attract. His knowledge is ridiculous of the game worldwide, globally. Every league will have connections left, right, and center when it comes to agents, etc., things like that. He's going to have absolutely every connection. His phone's going to be blowing if he gets that job, because you've already seen it in the newspapers now, online. You've already seen it. Every agent will be leaking stories now that Newcastle want their client, because they're looking to get paid off the Saudis. Every player will be linked with this club, because their agent will be pestering whoever becomes the manager, pestering, and they will have the pick of the bunch when it comes to certain players. Don't think they're going to be able to go out and get the superstars straight away. They've got to get a couple of players who are not quite doing it at their clubs, but will come in and do a good job. And that obviously likes of Martial and Donny van de Beek, etc. But for them, Steve Bruce is going to be gone. Who they're going to go for? Tell me in the chat, who do you think they're going to go for? Because, and if you want to come on, make sure you click the link. And come on. And if it doesn't work, change your browser, people, okay? Change your browser. I'm going to pin this. I'm going to pin the link, okay? Pin the links. I want to see some of your faces on a Monday afternoon. So who are they going to go for? Who are they going to go for? I think the obvious one would be Conte. But people are saying, if they was to bring Conte in, Fran, he wants the money and he kind of wants to go for success straight away. Is that not what they need to go and do? I understand they need to go the right way of doing that. I fully understand that. But would it not just be right, let's just go in. Let's just go in, get the best manager, and say, look, this is what you've kind of got. I'm hearing 200 million is available in January. 200 million is available in January to a club like Newcastle. Is absolutely crazy that a club like Newcastle can now be knocking it with the big players, the big dogs of this football world. So 100 and 200 million, it's got to be the right manager. It's got to be the right manager. It really has. Right, I'm going to bring someone in now. Lawrence has popped in the building. Let's have a look. Let's bring him in. What's happening, mate?
What's up, Franny?
What's happening? You okay?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
It's official. You're the first guest.
For real? That's awesome.
You're the first call-in guest, yeah, ever.
Dude, I'm a City fan. I think they're going to go for Sterling. I really hate to see him go, but
you think they'll go for Sterling, yeah?
Yeah, because he's not injury-prone. He just doesn't get a lot of playing time. He wants to play more.
I think the players that they're going to go for Sterling would be perfect profile, a perfect
Yeah.
profile. Whether he would go to a Newcastle, I'm not sure because he's still kind of in his peak. He's still 27-ish. So he may
He's
think,
26.
do I 26? Do I go for this at the beginning of the project? Is it too early? You know, one of those. That's the only thing that I think may put him off. Social say you've got a great beard, Lawrence.
Huh?
Social said you've got a great beard.
Thanks, bro. He's also getting linked with Barcelona too, so I don't know. I think he might be on the way out.
It seems that way. It seems that way. I mean, I don't know why. I mean, I don't know. I've not read any stories. We've not been no reports in the UK of why he's kind of not in favor with Pep.
Well, I don't think he's. I think he is. I think he is in favor. I just think that he's our second choice striker right now. You know.
Yeah.
Like Ferran Torres is like the first choice, and he's the second choice. So like, because Gabriel Jesus is out of favor as a striker, but he's in favor as a winger. He's not going to play wing this season.
No.
I mean, he's not going to play striker again for City. Gabriel Jesus. So like, I think Sterling is in like a kind of a utility role, and I think it's affecting his playing time. You know what I mean? And I think that's what it is.
Yeah. He definitely needs to be playing regular. He's at that age, and with Barcelona interested, and he all the talks over here are saying that he's going to be Barcelona. He wants the challenge. It's a club that obviously not many players would turn down, to be honest, as much as they're going through their financial problems.
I think that is actually a further off project than Newcastle, and I feel like if he's considering Barcelona, he might as well consider Newcastle. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, 5 seasons time. Say for example, he goes and he gets a 4 or 5 year deal, which he probably will. He's going to be a part of that project from the beginning, and he's going to be one of the best players, if not the best player at the beginning. So if he doesn't want to leave the UK, you know, even though it's North. You know, it's not hard for them. You know, they have helicopters in these days, no problem to go from the north to the south quite quickly. It just depends on what kind of challenge. Does he want the sun? Because there's no sun in the north, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So it could be interesting, but I don't know. I just can't see him going. Does anyone else in the chat think? You know, Lawrence looks nervous that Sterling may leave.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite players. I would be so sad to see him go, but I feel like I don't know. It might be about time to happen because he's on 2 years in the summer. He has 2 years left, so they might try to get him out of him if we can't get him to resign.
I mean, Pep's going to be going in 2 years, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sure he said he's going to be leaving.
I think it's like 3.
Is it 3?
But he said he said that he's after City. He's going to try to go to like coach a national team. He didn't say when he would leave. You know. Yeah.
He's definitely going to get the Spanish job.
Yeah, I think he could stay longer than his contract, but I think after City, he's not going to another club.
No. What needs to happen is Pep needs to go to Spain, and then Enrique needs to go to Arsenal. That'll be the manager that we need.
Do you like it? Do you like Enrique? Because I don't know. I'm not feeling him too much. I guess he's doing a good job. But
it's one of those. The players that he's had, it's like when Pep first got into management. The players that he had, you can't really fail. If you look at the players that Enrique's get, you can't really fail. So it probably would be a huge test when these managers go and manage players who are not at the caliber or at the level that they're used to. That's where they become unstuck. So it's they're very careful in which clubs that they go to. There's only certain managers, I think, who would say, right, I'm going to go to there and deal with everything. You know, Conte, he's one who decides if he's got the right money and he's backed, he'll go anywhere, I believe. So it's interesting. It's interesting.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, of course you can.
What do you think about Ferran Torres?
It's strange because did you watch the watch along? Did you watch the game yesterday?
No, I didn't. I was at work.
Was you at work? Right. Yeah.
I've followed him a lot. I've been following. He's great. He has like an incredible finishing touch.
Centrally, he looks good. So when he plays down the middle, he looks lively. He can finish. Like the two goals against who was it the other day? Belgium? No, who did they play? Italy.
Italy, and then they played.
And he played central.
Yeah,
and then
he's been playing central more. I think we signed him as a winger to replace Sane, but he's like almost like a forward type. You know, like a he plays like off the center. I think his best position is like a right forward or a left forward. He could play off either side. He has like he's such a goal threat.
Yeah, but then he was playing wide yesterday, and he didn't really get into the game. And I kept thinking, why is he not playing more central? Why is he not playing more central? But
because I think he's a winger by trade, and I think he's just been playing striker because he's like 6'1", and we don't have a striker.
Yeah, true. He doesn't look 6'1" though, does he? It's funny when you meet the footballers. You don't look 6'1", but all they need is a striker. All City need is a striker.
Yeah.
Chris is asking. Chris is asking, where are you from, Lawrence, in the US?
Baltimore.
Okay, is that where you are now? You still there?
Yeah.
Or? Yeah. Nice. So Baltimore. Chris in the chat has. I think he's probably the most. If you want to do a quiz, Chris is the guy with the most knowledge in the chat. He gives me all the best knowledge. That's for sure. So, right, Lawrence, really appreciate you coming on. Appreciate you coming on. You take care, okay?
You as well, man.
Yeah, take care. Thank you. See you soon. Let's get that on. So good to see Lawrence on. Good. Anyone else wants to come on, speak about a few things, we can. So I think when it comes to the Newcastle job, I think Conte, etc., is the obvious choice. I also think that, like Lawrence was saying, maybe the likes of a Sterling, maybe the likes of a Martial, and that's where we're going to get onto all the players that they need to go for. You know, this Mbappe and Haaland and things like that. Even Harry Kane, I can't see it happening, but you never know because money talks, people. Money talks. We will now then go on to Martial. So any Man United fans in it? I know sometimes we have some Man United fans. Big up everyone in the chat, by the way. Anyone else stream froze? I don't know if as your stream froze, people. Let me know. All the Gooners put big up Fran. And BK's put B more. Stream froze. Is it still froze? Still? Let me know if it's still froze, people. Maybe it was a connection from Baltimore. Can you still hear me? Is it one of those where you can still... Fran's pressed the wrong button. No, I'm still here, people. I'm still here. No, the stream's good in... So in Australia, which is the other side of the world, the stream is fine. Yet, in the Midlands or in the UK, people call... And I'm in the UK, the stream is frozen. Frozen like Arsenal's aspirations. No, not for me. So it looks like it's frozen on a few people. I can see and hear everything's good my side. Interesting. That's weird. That is weird. Seems to have frozen on some people's. It's the dodgy people as well. It's Chris and Craig, the dodgy ones. Elsa settings here, Fran, frozen. That's interesting. Why are people so obsessed with Conte? Illmatic is saying you loud and clear. So Illmatic is saying, oh, what an album, by the way. What an album that was. That cover. I think because he's the only one he's like the most popular and best manager available at the minute. You know, people keep mentioning Ten Hag. I think he would be outstanding for anyone to go for. But I think Conte seems to be the easiest one who people want to go for. It seems to be good stream for some people and freezing for others. So my apologies, people. My apologies on that one. And I think that's why Illmatic. I think it's all down to who else is available for a big club now to go for. I think that's why. Actually, do I think Conte's amazing? I actually don't really like his football, but he's a winner. And I think that's what Newcastle are going to have to try and get instilled, because at the end of the day, they still need to survive. They could be in a relegation battle. I can't see it if they're going to spend 200 million. They're going to spend 200 million and get the right manager, and Steve Bruce is gone, I think. they're not probably going to struggle, but you never know. You never know, people. You never know. And that leads me on to Martial and Donny van der Beek. Donny van der Beek, before he came Man United, was absolutely flying. Great player. For whatever reason, cannot get into this Man United team. Josh Bumba's coming. He said, Fran, just popping in. Mad busy. Meant to finish now. No problem. Take your time. You do what you've got to do. What's under the hat today? An orange car keys hat. The stream frozen in Sweden, eh? So not in Australia, in London, in Sweden, not around here. I don't know, people. But we're back. We're back. Donny van der Beek. He needs to get out of Manchester United. Big time. Absolute Manchester United. Salman, pop on if you can. Absolutely, he needs to get out of Man United. We're speaking about Donny van der Beek and Martial at the minute. If anyone wants to come on, let me know. I don't know what is going on. He seems to always want to play Fred and McTominay. How can you play Fred and McTominay ahead of Donny van der Beek? Now, Newcastle, there's no official bids, apparently. There's no official bids for Donny or Martial at this moment, but there has been contact made by all reports that this one could happen. Both players need to leave Man United. I remember when Martial came and he scored, I think it was on his debut or whatever, that wonder goal or whatever, and he skipped a couple of a few players. And I thought, wow, this kid's got it. And then all of a sudden, he just lost his way. He had a few problems. I believe he split up with his partner. I believe all these kind of things that happen off the field are not going to help you. And maybe Man United is not the club for Martial. Came over as a very, very young kid with a lot of expectation, and it just has not worked out for him. It really, really hasn't worked out for him. But is that the type of player that Newcastle need to go and sign? I think it's a toss of a coin. I really, really do think that it's a toss of a coin when it comes to Martial. A lot of Arsenal fans were saying that they wouldn't take him. Now, I think he's a great player. In fact, no, I think he's a good player. Okay, great is a little bit, of a fabrication. I think he's a good player. But what Arsenal need at the moment are different types of players to Martial, in my opinion. I mean, Gems has come up and she said Donny to Arsenal. Donny van der Beek would be good at Arsenal. I like him. He's better than Xhaka. Xhaka is our second best midfielder at the club, unfortunately. So Arsenal would be a very good club. But all of a sudden now, what we was talking about, if Arsenal go in for players with Newcastle, the only lure is London. The only lure is London. Because people are thinking, right, I could go down in history here. I could be a legend here. I'm part of something that has never been done. It's been done before in other, like Chelsea, Man United, Man City, but it's never been done like the magnitude of what Newcastle are going to be doing it. I just can't do it. Get Sol Campbell on the show. Get Chapman. He's probably busy. Let me message him, actually. I'll message him. Let me message him. Where is he? I'll message him. He could be busy. He could be filming these days. We never know what's going on, do we? He could be filming. So I just think he's a very, very, very good player. I like Donny van der Beek. I think he's very, very good player. I think he would do very well at Arsenal. I've got to admit, I think he would do very, very well at Arsenal. So just put, I like Donny. They brought him a bench warm. What a waste. It's a big waste. It's a very big waste. Very, very big waste. Now, Martial, I think he's got a lot of talent. A lot of talent. And I think that what type of player do Newcastle need to go for? Now, people would shout these big names out left, right, and center. I don't think they're going to get that because not many players are going to go straight away at the beginning of the project. I think I remember when City did it, they brought company and no one really knew about him. And eventually they then started bringing other players in at certain players and they'll pay him big money. But at the beginning, it had to be certain type of players. I'm sure like Bellamy was in there. and players like that, Julian Lescott, etc., things like that. I'm sure players like that were involved when City first took over. Big shout out to Alan who's coming. DWTT, good afternoon to yourself. Josh has come in. He said that he would love Donny at Arsenal. And Eric from Sweden has put, Fran, I want to be the Andorra manager. No pressure because everyone know you'll lose. Get to travel the world and see star players, probably high salary in a low tax country as well. I mean, that sounds like a great job, don't it? Absolute great job. And Lionel's put, big up, Fran, catching up the stream during my chest workout. By the way, Lionel must be absolutely hench and ripped because he works out for fun. He's working out like the Rock out here, Lionel is. I can tell you that. And James has put Henderson next summer. And I think that's the type of player that they might go for. They might go for that type of player and build that and then get the odd flair playing around them to get where they need to get to. And then they start going for the mega players. The mega players. Once the foundations have been built, season, 2 seasons, and then you add that bit of sauce with someone, you know, a world record breaking signing. Then you add another bit of sauce with someone else, and you say, right, listen, I'm just using Mbappe as an example, but I don't think it's going to be, of course. But Mbappe, right, we're now going to go out and try and get you know, a Jude Bellingham. We're then going to try and now go and get another top player. And then you've already got St. Maximum. You've already got someone. They need 2 centre-offs. They need flying fullbacks. They need a top class midfielder, top class striker. And I think they're all right, St. Maximum and another winger. And all of a sudden, the team looks completely different. The team looks completely different. So I think Martial, Henderson, you know, Sterling, I don't think he would go, but like Lawrence was saying, would be a massive coup for them. But Barcelona's son, Newcastle, you know, he's going to get weighed in at Barcelona anyway. So career-wise, it's probably best for him at 26, 27 to go to Barcelona. So it's very, very interesting when it comes to that, people. Got to be honest. If everyone wants to come on and have a chat, quickly pop on. The link is at the top of the chat. If it says that your mic and your cam don't work, you need to have a Chrome. Switch your default browser to Chrome. I know Chrome's not the best. I tend to try and use Brave. However, for some reason, StreamYard is that way. James is saying you need to be in Europe for the first big guns and not just the 1 season. Definitely need to get in Europe. So that's why they have to have a type of player. A Henderson would suit them. I'm trying to think who else would probably go. You know, Donny van de Beek. You know, Henderson, Donny van de Beek, Martial, and then they get a proper centre forward and a decent centre back. You know, imagine Pau Torres. Imagine they went for him. I don't think he would go there, but imagine they cooped for him and said, right, listen, we're going to pay you more than anyone else. Get a Pau Torres. Laporte, who don't look like he's going to be a regular all the time at City. John Stones is now out of favour. There's options you could go and build. Go and build. They have top midfielders in Longstaff brothers. By the way, the Longstaff brothers, if they had good players around them, would be very good. Cavani's been mentioned. Just Adza says, I can see Newcastle trying to get Martinelli this January or summer. Interesting. Newcastle should focus on survival. Then they will splash the cash. I think that's what they've got to do. And that's why they need to bring the right manager in. You can't be keeping Steve Bruce in it if you want to just keep themselves up. Go and get a manager who you want to get in there for 5 seasons and say, listen, just stay up and then the money's yours. Like, they're going to get 200 million apparently. 200 million in the January transfer window. I think that's more than probably, what's his name? Ashley has spent in his whole time he's been at the club. It's absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Alneni, Xhaka, Chambers, Holding, Leno, and Nketiah, and Nelson all fits for Newcastle cough. Listen, mate, they would have, but not no more. Jan's put, no decision has been made yet on his future, but we expect Bruce to relieve of his duties before Sunday's match. I thought they would give him that extra game, maybe, but interesting. This is business. We need to do another midfield player for sure. Donny van de Beek might be worth a bid from Arsenal. I think he should get in. I really, really do think that he should get in. It would be good. It would be very, very good to try and get them in. Backstage, we have got Illmatic. What is happening, Illmatic? How are we?
I'm good. How are you, man?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What do you want to talk about? What do you want to mention?
Man, I think I want to talk about this exciting new project Newcastle about to take on.
Okay,
Since Klopp took over Liverpool, I've been following projects, and following a project is actually a very good thing, you know.
Yep.
It's actually an exciting time for the Premier League.
I agree. I fully agree. Yeah, fully agree on that one.
Yeah. Actually, what I want to say is that I don't think they will immediately go to the top. Yeah. But they will have to start with the foundation. First of all, if you look at their squad, for example, they do already have a few good players in there. So it's about, I think in January, it's about trying to get that spine correct. I think number one, goalkeeper, Ben Leno at Arsenal, for example, is doing nothing there. Ramsdale took over the space. So a goalkeeper like Leno could work for them. Yeah. If they can try and take somebody like Lacazette from Arsenal, they can take him as well. You know, just taking those, you know, those guys who are 27 up, who can quickly come in as a spine while preparing themselves for the big summer, because they need to stay up. They are now in trouble. They are, I think, third in the third of the bottom. So they could go down if they don't address some of those small issues. But for me, I think in January is not about going to get the marquee signings. It's more about getting players that can come in just to have that balance.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, agreed. I think like you say, it would be very silly for them to go out and think they're going to go and get all the world-class players. It doesn't work like that. So they have to get.
And actually, there's a meltdown on Twitter. Every time I'm on Twitter, you know, the fans are crazy. We are gonna do this in January. I'm having a laugh. Like, come on, mate. It's not gonna work like that. It's gonna be a step-by-step thing. First of all, get the balance there. You have these young guys like Willock. You have Saint Maxima. Those type of guys probably they're gonna keep. But majority of that squad, if they are gonna spend the money as they are saying, they are not gonna be at Newcastle in 2 years.
I mean, how many years do you think? I mean, a lot of people say 5, you know, their plan is 5 to 10. I think they're going to obviously try and do it earlier. I mean, how long do you think it would take to win a Premier League title?
Okay, about the title is not easy. I think because regardless of whether they have the money, Liverpool is still there. They're still a big club. Yeah. City is still there, still a big club. United, whether with Ole, I think if Ole doesn't deliver, United might bring in somebody that can deliver. And Chelsea are still there. And you never know what's going to happen with Arsenal. Arsenal are quite currently right now in this building. So you never know what they will do in January and in the summer. You never know what's going to happen to Mikel Arteta. So they're also there. So winning it, I don't think is five years or so. But within 2-3 years, I think they will have a squad that can compete for top 4 every season.
You think they can do it that quickly, yeah?
Yeah, it's easy. Because the thing is, the market right now is about the money. If in January is about getting the balance, bring in the manager, and then start spending. What's there? Start spending.
Start spending, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, top four. It's easy. Yes, that I think they can get. But winning the title, not when Pep Guardiola is still in the Premier League and Klopp and those guys.
Okay, at the moment, yeah, I agree. Right, Ilmatic. Thanks ever so much for coming on. Thank you. Really do appreciate that. We've got Salman coming on now. You take care, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Salman, what's happening? You okay? Can you hear us?
What's up, man? How's it going, man?
I'm all good. Where are you in the States? Are you in the States?
Yes, I'm in Charlotte. We moved from Lisboa, from Portugal.
Oh, yeah. Frank. By the way, thank you. Say thank you to the wife, because yesterday I got my pronunciation perfect.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the ball. Yeah, she told me. Yeah.
Perfect. So what do you want to say, Salman? I know you. Thank you.
I just wanted to ask you, like, I know we're talking about Newcastle, we're talking about Man City, we're talking about all these other clubs, man. But like, what is going on with Arsenal? Like, what direction are we going in with Arsenal? You know, because it's like we have like good pieces. Like, we've been doing this for the last 10 years. We may have like a good player, like a Sanchez, and then nobody else there to help him. Ozil comes in, he's got no support. You know, we've got Ramsdale, he's looking good, but it's like, you know, our 2 center backs look good, but then it's like our midfield, we have no midfield. And then we have, like Laka said, he may be leaving. Aubameyang is like, he's getting up there in age. Our wingers are young. They're not really scoring too many. They're not like bossing the midfield. Pepe's not doing anything. And so my thing is kind of like, where are we going? Like, what are we doing?
Well, it's good. You brought the timing of you coming on is perfect because we're going to go on to Arsenal about the Oxlade Chamberlain links, etc., and things like this.
Yeah.
So for me to start off, the direction of what they want to go, I get the model. I'm just not sure Arsenal is the club to be doing this model. That's me. I get it when an Aston Villa or a Leicester do that model. But we've been at the top for years. So we're going a decade back to try and go forward. This is what I don't understand. And I think that's why the unrest is in the fans towards Arteta, towards the Kroenkes, because I don't think people kind of like don't like the idea or kind of respect the idea. It's just not supposed to be at Arsenal Football Club.
Yeah. What is the idea though? Like you say, like we're going back in time. Like what are we actually doing?
Well, I think the idea is they don't want to compete with the best financially. Okay. That's what it seems to me. So the only way around that is to try and replicate what maybe a Leicester have done and other teams over the years, where they go and get players who are not proven yet, have attributes, and then try and add certain stars to that. The problem you have is if those players don't do it and you don't sustain a decent level in the league, you're not going to be able to control the right type of player.
Right.
Then we're left with mediocre players.
Right.
That's how it feels to me, and we're not used to that.
I got you. Yeah, I kind of see what you're saying now. Like, I don't think this is the league probably to be doing something like that. And if you're gonna try to win anything, because it's kind of like, for example, in Netherlands, they have like Ajax, they have a lot of young players, but it's like, man, they're the biggest club there, so it's like it's easy for them to, push them out there, but they have a certain level that you need to be playing at as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so, but in the Premier League, you see how it is, man. Like, man, teams are strong, man, and it's like they got experience too. You can't just be having like a whole young squad and think you're gonna do anything. I guess that's why Arteta says like he doesn't have any plans or anything.
He's got no plans. You see, the thing is if you have a look at this concept of youth players, if you look at Chelsea, for example. They're the best in the world at kind of attracting young players and going out to get the best young players. And they probably make 30 to 40 million a season selling these players.
Right.
If they are not ready for the first team.
Right.
These players, they leave Chelsea and go on and do quite well at their respective clubs.
Right.
If you look at the way that the players that we've brought in the summer, if they don't make it at Arsenal, they're not going to be going to an AC Milan like Tomori. They're not going to be going, like a Gilmore, a Billy Gilmore, for example, would leave Chelsea and maybe go to another top team.
Right.
The ones at Arsenal, you think if they don't do it at Arsenal, where are they going to go? So the model what Chelsea have, it's expensive, but you get the money back in, you reap the rewards. So as an Arsenal fan, people say, why are you worried? I think there's another place in the top six is now gone. And we're now competing with Villa, Spurs, and Leicester, and maybe West Ham even now. And if we don't invest, then we're going to get overtaken again. So, I mean, Monday night is a huge game.
Yeah. To be fair, do you think we should be selling our young players like Chelsea? Because for an example, a lot of our young players, as long as they haven't played for Arsenal yet, there's a lot of big hype around them, like behind the scenes. And it's kind of like, at that point, should we just go ahead and cash in and then try to go buy somebody who is experienced and bring them into the first team and then something like that,
I mean, like you say, Chelsea, some of the youngsters never get near the first team.
Yeah, for
sure. They just go on loan.
Yeah.
They go on loan to the Championship, or they go on loan to the Holland or wherever it may be.
Yeah,
and
Bundesliga.
Bundesliga. And then someone buys them at 25, 30 million. Yeah. And they've never played for us. They've never played for Chelsea.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So it's interesting. We did one thing with Willock, as Jan was saying. Willock made the move. He didn't know this was going to happen.
Yeah.
But personally, I don't think Willock was good enough for Arsenal, in my opinion. But so we did a good business there. But the likes of Reece Nelson, the likes of Balogun, they need to go out. They need to play regular football on loan. And if they're not good enough, they're in the shop window for everybody else to buy.
Right, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So
I mean, it's kind of like Smith Rowe. I mean, they wanted. I think Villa wanted pretty good money for him too. You know.
I think his agent was very clever there.
Okay.
Yeah. I think his agent was very clever. I don't think he was ever going nowhere. So his agent got him the number 10 and probably another £10,000 a week.
He definitely got him that number 10. I don't know how he got that, man.
I don't know how he got number 10, but he got number 10.
I hear you, man. Man, the lowest I've ever been is 17, so I don't know how he got that 10.
I can't get 10 no more, so I get 1 plus 9. Yeah, 19.
I gotta go with my year. You know, the year I was born. You know, like 86 or something.
86. Okay, yeah, 86. Wow. Yeah. Are you playing over there? Do you play a bit of? It's still
yeah. We have like a little leagues over here. I play in. I still play on the wing like I always do, and so that's why like Pepe pisses me off because it's like I play right wing, and so when I see him like not attacking anybody, it drives me crazy. You know, because I'm not the best. Don't get me wrong. Like I'm good 2 out of 12. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, man, I'm not worth 72 million either. You know?
Yeah, Curtis loves Pepe, and he's always saying, "Fran, you're harsh on Pepe," and I'm saying, I know he scores goals. But I was a winger as well. And I'm like, take the fullback on. Just run. Sure, and he doesn't run. He makes me crazy. Absolutely
he drives me nuts too, man. I mean, I remember he did that one nutmeg, like his first game, I think against West Ham or something like that. And I haven't really seen him like get busy since then, you know?
No, he's got very comfortable. Very, very comfortable. Yeah. Right, Salman. So thanks ever so much for coming on. You take care. Thank you for the support. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Let's get back on here. So good people on. Love that. So let's go through a couple of the comments. Broads are saying that it's frozen. Broads must be your internet, Broads. You're not nicking the internet from next door still. Not really. Chelsea Australia has put 5 to 10 years for Newcastle to get to the top. Like 7 to 8 years easy. 10 years is saying curved glass. I mean, they've got a plan from 5 to 10 years. I believe Craig keeps trying to come on, but it keeps saying, Craig, when you come on, that you've got no connection. I'm not too sure what is going on there, but it does come up on my screen that you're trying to come on. Jan is saying excellent midfield, 2 plus and 1 top defender, plus Icardi would go a long way. Icardi is a great shout. Buffon as goalie. I think Buffon into thinking he's back at Juve. Can you imagine? One Direction. I think you're not on about the band, are you? Backwards, that's the direction Arsenal going. Chelsea, a little bit of slander. Darren's put, remember the Sheikhs took over Man City in 2008 and took time to establish a team to compete. I think it's going to take a very long time, people. I do. I think it's going to take a long time. People are saying they may be winning it in 3 years. I just can't see it. Big up Jashar. You know, I don't know which one is. Tony's put, imagine if Newcastle got relegated this year, probably won't happen, but if it would make it interesting to see what they would do then. Very interesting. Willock's made the best move of his life. He sure has. And Bugsley's put, Pepe plays too much with fear. And by the way, Nutmeg was against Burnley on Ben Mee. I think we spoke about that. We did. Craig, you trying to come on? I can't really see him. Chrome didn't work for Salman, saying Chrome didn't work for him. Firefox got him through for information. So it must be something to do with your browsers, people. So whatever browser you're using, have a look. StreamYard, nothing I can do. It's weird. It's very, very weird. Very weird. But big up Broads coming on, by the way. Big up Broads. I'll drop you a message because I know you're busy working and grafting and that. But I'll drop you a message, man. I hope you and the family are well, Broads. Yana's put, I say 5 years and no, the wheel go down. Joe Linton is crap. Ukuna Matata. He's a massive Gems fan. I don't know if Gems is still in the chat. Nexus put, it should take Newcastle 3 to 5 years to compete Champions League spot if they learn from the likes of Man City. I'll use my iPhone 13. Gone then. Got the phone. He's got the big phone out. Pepe last season was garbage times goals. Like I say, I think the goals kind of go over his crack. He's not really done it. So no browser here, mate. Laugh a lot, just the phone. How bad is Joe Linton? Joe Linton is terrible, people. I'm sorry. He's absolutely terrible. I cannot believe that he gets paid, and not just gets paid a lot of money. I wouldn't pay him $1,000 a week. I wouldn't pay Joe Linton $1,000 a week. No way. No way. No way whatsoever. So, as I was saying, we're just gone on to the Arsenal one. Thoughts on, would you take Martial? And your thoughts on this rumor going around about Oxlade Chamberlain. Would you have him back? Would you have him back, people? If you got something to say, make sure you come on. Let me know. Would you have him back? We've got 15 minutes left. Joe Linton is a fake Brazilian. Man said he's a fake Brazilian. You can have him for free. Yeah. Wow. Wow. He is terrible. Jan, I've got to admit, he is absolutely terrible. So, firstly, would you have Martial at Arsenal? Like I said earlier, I think he's a very good player. All right. However, I don't think he is the type of player that maybe Arsenal need at the moment. I mean, let me know. Nex is saying he'd take Martial, but he wouldn't take, obviously, Ox. Chris is saying, don't want the Ox at all. Rather have a fit Wiltshire. He's 28. No way. I mean, 28's not old in football, Ilmatic, but you've only probably got, I think, when someone turns 28, I'm going back to when I was 28. When I was 28, I was thinking, you know what, I'm going to probably play for about 3 or 4 years, and then I'm going to want to do something else. There's an interview about Neymar saying that he wants to finish, and people were saying, why? When you've been professional football for over 10, 15 years, it's very hard to keep going motivational because there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes that you can't wrap your head around. Actual playing football is great. I love playing football, but the rest of it is nonsense. So 28, if he comes on a free, I think you get a good 3 years out of him. You know, Danny Ings, people like that. Interesting. So no to Martial. Hendon Goon is saying no to Martial. Other Goon is saying Joe Linton is horrible. He's horrible. No to Martial and no to Ox. No to Wiltshire. Hendon don't want to sign no one. No to the Ox. Tukas, but do you think Martial would run hard enough if we want to become a pressing team? And that's my problem. Is Martial the player, the type of player that we need at Arsenal? I just don't think he is. I just don't think he is. I really, really got to admit, I don't think he is. Here's gems for Hakuna Matata. Always good to see it. Oxlade has some training under mighty God Jurgen Klopp. You'd be lucky to have some of that. Laugh out loud. Listen, Ox is just injury prone. I think he's a very good player. He could be. Injuries have just cost him throughout his career, and he's never fulfilled that. You know, Jack Wilshere had the same. Many, many players have the same thing, and it's not nice. It's not nice when you have injuries. The body doesn't work in the way that you want it to. Sometimes it can be too much football through their teens. I don't believe in that. It's maybe something to do with the training, the dynamics, the genetics, the body type, etc. But I'm going to throw a spanner in the works, right? I would take Martial, okay? I would take Martial. I wouldn't take Oxlade Chamberlain. And the reason I wouldn't take Oxlade Chamberlain, he's too injury prone. I don't know if he's still hungry. Would he be hungry coming back to Arsenal? He could be good one game, but then he could be poor or injured for 10. And we don't need that. We've mentioned Partey, you know, one game every 5 is not good enough. You know, you mentioned it with players like this, but I would take Martial. And the reason I would take Martial, got to be honest, Terence is saying he's a waste man, right? I would take him because he has the potential to be devastating at times. And he has a different potential, because some people will say, but Fran, what about Pepe? He has a different potential. I think he, maybe like Pepe, okay, because you always know I like to have a balance, just needs to feel loved. And we all need to feel loved. Come on. Everybody needs to feel loved. And especially at your workplace when it comes to football, because you may have 50,000 people who don't like you and don't love you. So I would take Martial. My only problem would be wages. How much would he be wanting? Because he's going to have one hell of a packet in his next deal. And I then don't think that we would match that. I would rather go for a Martial than an Oxlade Chamberlain. I've got to be honest. Correct me if I'm wrong, people. Would you rather go for an Oxlade Chamberlain over Martial or vice versa? Tony's saying no to both. And I get it. I get it. We're getting linked with players who are not quite doing it over clubs. But on the flip side, people, is that where we are as a club? Are we at that point where the likes of a Donny, by the way, I would take Donny van der Beek at a drop of a hat. But are we at that level now where the players who don't quite make it at a United, at a Chelsea, at a Man City, maybe at a Liverpool, that we would be interested in them. Because we've seen the likes of Jesse Lingard. I like Jesse Lingard. I remember people were giving me grief when I said we should go for Jesse Lingard. He goes West Ham, gets back in the England squad, and everyone's saying, oh my God, he's the best midfielder in the last 4 months of the season, which he was probably. Because you don't get that from midfielders. That third man running that Jesse Lingard does, he's one of the best in the Premier League that does it. No wonder Man United didn't let him go straight away, but he's going to go at the end of the season. So I would probably go for that. Let's be honest. Let me go for a few of the comments because I love to get through the comments. This one is quite funny. Terence is going straight. He's not playing straight road talk. He's a waste man. No to both. Terence has come back on. He's saying Ox played the wrong sport. Probably better off as a rugby player. Yeah, he's a beast, weren't he? Steve J's put, I'd take them all, Fran. We need experienced players to guide the kids. Very good, valid point. Very good, valid point. Don't know if I'd take Ox, though. I've got to admit. Chelsea's put, Australia, Fran not having to go here. Just a question to Arsenal fans. What do you think of the possibilities of Arsenal not playing Champions League for a long time and possibly not even European because of Newcastle? Listen, I think it's a very, very tough task for Arsenal to get back in Europe. I've got to be honest. Now, Newcastle are not going to get back into Europe straight away. So we have a few seasons for that other spot to kind of be cemented. And we're not terrible. We're not terrible. I'm just not sure that we've got the, the nuts to turn it on when it needs to be turned on. Just not sure. Now, Martial doesn't smile. Yeah, but we can't judge him. Listen, Martial's not been good enough for Man United. I'm not going to turn around and say that he is. He's probably not smiling because he's not playing. Ravel got the potential to be devastating, but we all know I have issues, same as Martial. I mean, Ravel's was a little bit different. He was straight from, I believe, Moss Side and places like that, if you've ever been. Way of life is different. And he just doesn't have the right role models or environment. I think Martial is maybe slightly different in his mindset, but he seems to be maybe at times lacks motivation, but I think he just needs to sit down, arm around him, and someone take interest of his off the field problems because he's very young. Well, when he came, he's very young. Donny all day, take him all day. Socials put, it's not just about the player fan. The coach isn't the guy to get Martial performing. Moyes was key to Jesse. Bang on. It's always to do with the managers, by the way. It's always to do with the managers. If the managers are not the type of player, the manager that can get the best out of people, for example, your boss at work, if you like your boss at work, and he's got a relationship with you where if you go the extra yard, he's feeling it or she's feeling it, whatever it may be, right? Not literally. But you're going to give him the extra yard or her the extra yard. It's 100%. Same with football, even more so with football because you already enjoy your sport. You already enjoy it. So it's very, very interesting what we've got. We've got King backstage. So I'm just going to get King on as well. Let me go back to make sure we change all this. Wait, I need to get the comments off. Let's get that off and bring him on. He's here. What's happening, King? You okay?
I'm good, my brother. How you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for coming on. Really do appreciate it. What have we got to talk about?
I'm a big fan, to be honest.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, I want to speak about, I heard you were talking about Jesse Lingard, for example. Yep. And I do think if you look at our squad, when we play the best football is when we play with high energy, high pressing, lots of movement. And that's what he is good at. And he gives you goals. And he will run. And I think that would help players like Aubameyang, like your Saka, like your Smith-Rowe and Odegaard. And I just think he would come with a new, he would come to have something to prove, Yeah. We saw that at West Ham. He was on fire. With Antonio, they were the two best players. And I think we lack that, hungry players that are in their prime. Not like young, hungry players. We already have that in Saka and Smith-Rowe, but players who knows the league, who can give you double-digit points. We lack that. I mean, how many of our midfielders would you say this season is going to score more than 10 Premier League goals?
Well, we ain't got one. We don't have what you say. We don't have that third man running. And you make a very good point. I've always mentioned about games are won, and especially the way that we play, by high energy pressing high. And he is perfect midfielder for that. He will probably outscore all our midfielders next season, this season.
100%.
Even and he probably won't even play 50% of. You probably won't even start 50% of Man United's games, and he will probably still outscore our midfield. Yeah. But I don't think we'd get him now. Do you think we would get him now?
No, I think this summer was the opportunity. I think now I can see him. I wouldn't be surprised if Newcastle put in a cheeky bid and be like, you know what, we're gonna build our team, and you're gonna be our star man. I can see them do something like that.
That's a good point.
I definitely look at, we need probably two players who will give us goals. And I would probably have one more on the wing and one more central. I do think so. I also think it's time to move on from Aubameyang, and like I said, I think we've done got the best of Aubameyang for me. We had him in his prime. We missed an opportunity to build a squad around him, as we missed with Sanchez, as we missed with Özil, as we missed with Cesc. I mean, you can arguably say since the Invincibles, we've missed the opportunity to build around our star men.
Yeah, 100%.
If you remember, we had like Sami Nasri, Cesc Fabregas, Robin van Persie, Gleb Rosicki, a lot of talented flair players, but we were missing like a Thomas Partey-esque midfielder and probably a proper centre-back.
Yeah. Like you say, only two players missing out of that kind of squad. And all of a sudden, it's probably the best squad, one of the best squads in the Premier League at the time. And now I think we're now paying for that. And it's going to take a long time to rebuild that. We are now paying for not keeping our house in order. And now we've gone to another plan, which we think may get us out of that hole. But I'm just not confident with this plan. I don't think it's going to work.
Yeah, and the difference is now is that you probably have 10, 11 clubs who are well run at the highest level. I mean, even if you look at clubs like Leicester City, West Ham, they are properly run. You can see even Brighton, you can see their plan.
Yeah.
And they are following it each year. And you can see the progress. You can see where they want to go. But with Arsenal, it's like every year is a new thing. It was one project with Wenger's last year. It was another thing with Emery, who was just the head coach. Then we brought in Arteta as a head coach. And after less than a year, he was promoted to manager. And then it was getting in your Luis, your Pablo Maris, your Cedric. And now we left that project. Now it's just youths. It's like we can't seem to find the balance of, okay, if we bring in youth players, we're going to need 2-3 senior players as well. I mean, look at the players we bought in this season, for example. If we would have gone for, let's say, I like Tomiyasu. I don't mind Ramsdale. And let's say Lokonga. That's 3 quite young players. And then to that, you add 2-3 senior players who are in their prime. I mean, I think we would have been more prepared for this season.
I think that's what we thought was going to happen as a fan base. We could see that they was trying to go for a couple of the players. And then when Ben White came in the building, a lot of people then started to think, well, that's a big chunk of the transfer. If we don't get a Locatelli or an Aouar or a Martinez or numerous other players that we linked with, we're not going to have no star players. And Curb Glass puts it perfectly. We're a big club with no big players.
Yeah. We don't have any big players. We don't have any world-class players. I mean, who would you say is our best player in the current team?
I mean, I'm an Ødegaard fan, but I'm not sure Arsenal is the team, if you know what I mean, for him to be similar to the Ozil effect that we had. We had Ozil, and the team wasn't good enough for Ozil, and then things happen behind the scenes. I don't want it to happen, but I get the feeling that may happen to Ødegaard in the end, and his so-called talent will get overlooked. But to say he's our best player, he's the most intelligent player. But if you have a look, there's not many that you would say, right, Saka. Saka is probably our biggest name. BX Guna makes a good point. I would say Saka is our biggest name. And Partey, when fit and plays numerous amounts of games, he's probably our best player.
Yes, so
that's it.
Two players who are our main man. And I love Saka, but he's our best player, but he can't score 10 goals a season yet. I'm not saying he won't.
Yeah.
But maybe when he's 24, 25, 26, 27, that's when he was. Because even if you look, I'm not comparing him, but even if you look like someone like Cristiano Ronaldo, when he came to the Prem, he wasn't scoring double digits at that young age.
No. He couldn't cross. He couldn't even cross.
Exactly. So he had to learn the Premier League. He had to learn the tactics. He had to become more mature. Silas had to tell him, it's not just about tricks. You have to be more effective. He had to make that journey.
Yeah.
With Raheem Sterling, he had to make that journey from being just a fast, tricky winger to become an effective winger.
Yeah.
So I think sometimes we have so much expectation of Saka, and we forget that he's just 20 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, you have generational talents like your Wayne Rooney, like your Cesc Fabregas, Haaland, but he's good, but he's not there. Let's not put him there.
Yeah. Yeah. There are certain players that, like you say, so your Rooney's, your Owens, your Fabregas, players like this who are just ready.
Yeah.
ESR, Saka, players like they're not at that level. My biggest fear for Arsenal is we got this youth process, whatever people keep talking about. My biggest fear is, and people were saying, yeah, but when these players start clicking, Fran, and they're going to be a good team, and I'm saying, when these players become that good, other teams take them.
Yeah, Nasri.
Other team will just take them. Yeah.
Clichy, Adebayor. We've seen it before.
They'll just take you. So it's a strange one. Are they going down the route where they want to buy, produce, and sell? Because then it would make sense. Because if you're buying to build and stick together, it doesn't happen. Football is a generational thing. It's 10 years. It just changes very, very quickly. I mean, even the rules change every few years.
We don't even know what offside is anymore.
I don't even know what offside is. Mbappe scored last night. I thought it was offside, and which is crazy rule. So, yeah, crazy rule. But yeah, like you say, I don't know. I'm looking forward to the Monday game. I've got to be honest. Against Palace, I think Palace are going to turn up. So we will see. We will see.
And you see, SA is back. It's typical Arsenal, isn't it?
Typical.
He was supposed to be injured until the next year, and now they're turning against us. He's back. You can see him, Zaha, Olesi,
Edward.
I think we will see against Palace if we've made a progress or if it's still like up and down Arsenal. Like we'll look great in certain games, we'll look poor in certain games, we'll look average in other games. But it's going to be interesting, honestly. It's going to be interesting to see Patrick Vieira back. It's going to be interesting to see if we can turn up and win.
Yeah.
Because we have, I think the next 4 games, if we get lots of points from those games, we can build a momentum and something can happen this season. But if we end up with 6-7 points, it's going to be another mid-table-ish season.
Where do you think we can end up? Before we go, where do you think we'll finish, King? Where do you think we'll finish?
6th or 7th.
At best.
At best.
Okay.
Best. And the reason why I said that is because I think the Premier League is so tough. You need to be consistent. And we don't have enough consistent player to get 70-ish points to get into that 5-4th position. But thanks for having me on, friend.
No, listen, it's been an absolute pleasure. It's the first time we've got people on. The guests have been magnificent. Everyone in the chat really loved. They're saying, you know, King. At first, they were saying he talks too low, it's too smooth. But no, thanks ever so much for coming on, King. Appreciate it, and great support as always. God bless you and the family. You take care. Yeah, great guest. Well done to him for coming on. Really do appreciate that. So, like you say, people. I'm not sure. I think King made a good point there. I don't think we have, as Arsenal Football Club, the players, the mentality to be consistent enough. Are they good enough? I actually think these players would be good enough to do top 6. But is it the manager that don't get the best out of these players? And I think a lot of people would say that. I think a lot of people would say that. Gems is feeling King's voice. She's saying he'd be a great audiobook reader, very calming. He's got a great voice. I might have to get him on the green mind to put his meditation to sleep because his voice was calm and chilled. Good voice. Good voice. No manager's good enough. Chelsea's giving us some slander. Our attack barely scores or assists, Rashid is saying. Dan is saying, in all honesty, Arsenal are now average. No world-class players anymore, no scare factor. And that is a big problem, people. Right, we've just gone over an hour. What a great show. Getting some of the community on, seeing their faces for the first time. Absolutely unbelievable. And I'm glad that the link worked for a few. I believe Craig was trying to get on loads of times. I'm not sure why, Craig. I'm going to put him up on here. He's saying, I want 10 points from my next 4 games. I have no idea what was happening, why he couldn't come on. You was coming on my screen, Craig, but it was saying no connection from your device. So I'm not sure what's happening in your end. I hope you can sort it out. BK with a big, obviously, guns out and a fire stream from Lionel. Really do appreciate each and every one of you, as always. We will do more of these because I think it's very, very good to try and get the community. And Lily's put, how are Peterborough doing? They are not doing good at all. And King is saying, big up to the chat. It says, and a great show. Well done to King for coming on. I really do appreciate it. Bless up each and every one of you. Enjoy the rest of the evening with yourself, with your family, with your friends. And I'm sure we will have something to talk about tomorrow. As always, you take care, and I'll see you soon.